Greetings, everyone. Gleekon here again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. We are continuing with this little small break we have in the Let's Plays. So in the last one, we talked about what the Twilight's Hammer clan was doing. Chokal is running that clan. They already liked Void Energy, and now they're officially aware of the old gods. They're thrilled. They're going to continue to work for the orcs, and on the side, they're really going to be working to free the old gods. So from the flip side, let's check out what Thrall's daddy, Durotan, is doing with this. I'm assuming that's what this one is going to be about. So stay a while and listen to the Frostwolf Defiance. While the Horde waged its war, the exiled Frostwolves moved north. They avoided almost all contact with humans thanks to the aid of the elements. Shortly after the Frostwolves arrived at their new home, the Alterac Mountains, Draka gave birth to a boy whom she would name Goel. This should have been a beautiful moment for Draka and Durotan. Instead, it filled them with horror. Their son's skin was green. He was infected with the orc's blood curse. For Durotan, this was the last straw. Gul'dan's pact with his masters had damned the orc race for all generations. I think Thrall is what he goes by, because a Thrall basically is like a slave. And I think his story that's uncovered in Warcraft 3 is about that. But yeah, I think that's why in Cataclysm, when whoever it is that's working with him, his wife, or I think it's his wife, but maybe it's his mom. I don't know. No, it can't be his mom. I think she calls him something, and now I'm realizing I think it's Goel. And that's why, because that's his true birth name. Cool. Learned something. He decided he could no longer stand by and do nothing about the dark forces controlling the Horde, no matter the consequences. Neither could Draka. Durotan and Draka told the Frostwolves to remain in the mountains and carve out a new life, while they went back to the Horde to reveal the truth. The chieftain, his mate, and their new son Goel made the treacherous journey south. Drakthar called on his shamanic powers to send word to Orgrim Doomhammer. The elemental spirits whispered in the Blackrock warrior's dreams, revealing to him that Durotan was coming south, and that he wished to meet at the edge of a land known as Loch Modan. Cool, so we're establishing a couple other little regions there. Orgrim did not tell Blackhand of the meeting. Like Durotan, Orgrim had become wary of fell magic, Gul'dan, and Warchief Blackhand. He deplored the banishment of the Frostwolf clan, seeing it as further proof that the Horde's leadership was corrupt. He had also learned of the Shadow Council's existence, and he considered the Order dishonorable and manipulative. Orgrim pretended to set up a scouting mission, and took only a few trusted guards to Loch Modan, where Durotan was waiting. The Frostwolf chieftain showed him Goel, and explained everything he had uncovered. He's like Goel's goddaddy. The mysterious warning he had received before the orcs had gathered at the throne of Kil'jaeden, his theory that Gul'dan was in league with some dark force that was bent on manipulating the Horde, all that he knew. Orgrim was shaken, but he was not entirely surprised. He told Durotan about something he had seen in recent weeks. The fell energies from Draenor were creeping out from the dark portal and into the black morass. Soon this world would be as dead as the one they had come from. Durotan, Draka, and Orgrim agreed that Gul'dan and Blackhand needed to be dealt with at all costs. Orgrim would return to the Horde alone and play along with the leadership's plans for the moment. He urged Durotan and Draka to take shelter in the north until he sent word to them. Orgrim commanded his guards to accompany the Frostwolves on their journey home and keep them safe. That was a mistake Orgrim would regret to his dying day. The guards were not loyal to him, but to the Shadow Council. The guards had heard every word between Orgrim and his visitors. They decided they didn't need Gul'dan's permission to eliminate the Frostwolves. Clearly, he would want Durotan, Draka, and their child dead. After traveling north for several days, the guards fell upon Durotan and Draka. The Frostwolves fought bitterly against their attackers, killing one of them, but the remaining guards struck down Durotan and Draka, and Goel was left to die in the frigid cold. Miraculously, the child survived. A day after his parents were murdered, a hunting party led by, I don't know how you say that, Adelis Blackmore, Aedelus Blackmore, a human noble from the northern stronghold of Durnhold Keep, came upon the grisly scene. I'm trying to remember that Durnhold Keep sounds super familiar. It was rather shocking proof that the war reports out of Stormwind were credible. The dead creatures looked exactly like the descriptions of the beasts known as orcs. The sound of crying drew Blackmore's attention, and he found Goel, starving and freezing, but alive. He decided to take him back to Durnhold and have him examined. There was no telling what secrets Blackmore might glean about his new enemies by observing one of their young. Goel would spend his entire adolescence under Blackmore's watchful eye. When a few more days passed and Orgrim's guards hadn't returned, the orc grew suspicious. He sent other warriors north to find out what had happened. These scouts made a grim discovery. Orgrim's friends and one of his trusted guards were dead. His scouts took it upon themselves to find the other assassins. They tracked down the Shadow Council servants before they made it back to the Horde lines in the south, and a fierce battle erupted. Orgrim's warriors returned victorious, reporting back to their commander in secret. It was a stroke of luck. If Gul'dan had heard about Durotan and Orgrim's rebellious intentions, he would have had the Blackrock orc's throat slit in the night. Orgrim was determined to avenge his friends and his people, but he bided his time, waiting for an opportunity. So poor Durotan and Draka, their story ends. They did have Thrall, who will end up being the central figure in the modern Horde. And I think all of that with Goel/Thrall being raised by Blackmore is the premise, the foundation of Warcraft 3. I think that's my understanding. So we'll see. All right, we got another episode in the pipes, 5x5. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you all in the next episode of Lore of Warcraft.